Hey, my name's Matt Harris. I'm at Jones Technical Institute. I'm going to explain to you the basics of a turbocharger and that system. Alright, so the way a turbocharger works is you got your air intakes. This is a Peterbilt 379. You got your air intakes, which are right here and right over there on the other side. Kind of similar to, a normal truck or turbo setup, except for these are mounted outside the vehicle. And it forces air in through here, and what the turbo does, the turbo spools up right here on the intake portion of it, and it gets really, really hot in through there. So, it compresses all this air and shoves it down this pipe. So this pipe runs into here through the intercooler, and it comes in there super hot, and just like a regular radiator works, this is what it is, air comes through here on these fins, and it cools the air that's inside there. This is the air-to-air intercooler system. And as it comes out through here, it's super compressed, now super cool, and it blows in to the engine and gives a good fuel-to-air mixture. And what the intercooler really does is when the air gets forced in there and it's really hot, the oxygen becomes less dense, and so it's not really there as much. When it comes through cold on the intercooler, the oxygen's more or less dense now. It's spread out, and so when it gets shoved into the engine, it actually compresses more air into that engine, so you get more more air to fuel than you would on a normal gas engine. And it helps produce more power, better mileage, all that. And then when you come back around to the other side, you got your second part of the turbo right here, which takes all the exhaust gas out from the exhaust manifold right here. It shoves it all out, and at that time, it's coming out anywhere from 1600 degrees, depending on what kind of truck you're running, and how big the motor is. And it's coming down through, and keep it from burning up. You got your pyrometer right here, which tells you what your exhaust gas temps actually are, down through the downpipe, and then out through your exhaust stacks, like a normal vehicle. Good thing about turbos are they provide, air-to-air turbo provides a lot of extra power for very little weight. And I'm going to explain what I mean by that here in a minute. You got your radiator set up right here. You got your intercooler right here. All this, it goes into the intercooler. It's lightweight material. So the downside of it, you got lots of tubing you have to stretch from there to there to reach the turbo, and then again on the other side to go from the cold exit portion of the intercooler into the engine block. That's a lot of tubing, but it's lightweight, it's air to air, so you don't have to have any extra components. Now there is another cooling system for a turbo. It's called air to water, and it literally does what it says it does. You have a water reservoir, say, right here. It wouldn't really go here on this vehicle, but say you got a water reservoir right here, and it's the same setup virtually, but you're using water to cool the air. Your hot gases go in, or your hot compressed air goes in. The water cools it better because water has a better heat transfer properties. So as the water cools, and then it comes out super cool on the other end, and it shoots through into the same way, the same principle. You don't really find that on vehicles too much. You can put them on vehicles. The main benefit for that is rear engine vehicles, or marine vehicles mostly, or marine applications. They're heavier. They are more efficient, but you got to balance the more efficient to the weight aspect of it. When keys to good airflow, when you got your filters are built into your air box here. And on here, it's big, what most people would call them is tractor filters. Most people are familiar with them as being tractor filters, or if you're in the military, Humvee filters, just on a bigger size. They're just a big giant paper filter. They they separate the particulates in the air really, really well. And this engine and the turbo on this thing's so big that it actually gets great airflow through there. On a regular vehicle, would I recommend using it? Not really, unless you're driving, through a dusty area, things like that. They're great filters, don't get me wrong, but, unless you're needing to filter out a lot of stuff through there, on a regular, F350 or something of the same, you don't really need something that heavy duty as a filter. Other than that, you gotta, some key things to watch out for. You gotta make sure your boots here are in good condition, because if one of these goes, you're compromising your whole intake system. These are very easy to maintain and check. I mean, they're heavy duty boots. Very rarely do you see one of these blow unless they're just that old. They just bolt on with, with the clamps. The rings here keep them from misshaping. If they overboost, they typically pop the rings down a couple, and then, to fix that, all you got to do is pop that off, pull it back up. Half the time you can just fix it by doing such, as long as they ain't wrapped around other rings, like so. But if you got time, pop it off, inspect it, give it a good visual inspection all the way around. But you can't really see back here behind it unless you get up there. It takes 5 minutes to pop it off and inspect it. Some key attributes to a turbo. You can't let your turbo housing get too hot. That's the main function of this, because if you're letting this get too hot, the majority of turbos, the internal components are, on smaller trucks, are aluminum components. So you get those, 1600 degrees for too long, you're going to warp them. They're not going to be as durable as they were to begin with. And once you start warping the blades on the compressor wheel, then it's going to, you're going to start damaging the housing of the turbo. You're not going to get as good a performance. If you catch it before it gets too bad, you could, resurface the inside of the turbo, get all those nicks out. Or you're going to have to rebuild the turbo, because if that compressor wheel goes out, it's sitting on a spindle and a bearing in there. If that goes, you can eat up that whole wheel. And if you break one of those fan blades, in theory, it could shoot off into here, come out your intercooler. Many things could go wrong if you don't take proper care of your turbo. They're really easy to care for if you pay attention to what that pyrometer's telling you, or whatever things are on there are telling you. You got the same boots over here to watch out for. You just gotta keep an eye on, make sure nothing's coming out of there. You got your oil intake and your oil intake and outtake lines to help keep the turbocharger cool. Most big engines have those on them. If you don't have one on a smaller truck, it's not hard to do. Recommend you put one on there. Here shortly, you'll see me adding a new 72 millimeter turbo to my F350. It's going from 58 millimeter to a 72 millimeter. Yeah, I like that little extra horsepower. And I have oil cooled lines on there. Just got to set them up, and after that we're good. There's no extra power needed to run the turbocharger. It's all off the engine. So, in closing, that's how the turbocharger works. It's a very basic system. Some people say superchargers are better than turbochargers, and it just goes off of what you want for power. This just works off the already existing engine power that's flowing air through it, pulling it through there, and a supercharger works off pulleys. So you're robbing the engine of a little bit of power to make some power with the supercharger. How much of that power really, is always arguable. It's been one of the biggest arguments of time. But that's the basic ins and outs of the turbocharger. Thank you for your time. Have a good day.